What's up, YouTube? If you're a foreigner that's planning to come and live in China and you want to open a bank account, this is a video for you. Now, opening a bank account in China can sometimes be a daunting process. Without one, you can't enjoy platforms like WeChat, Alipay, and a lot of the electronic cashless payments that we all get to enjoy in China. And without a bank account in China, you're gonna have to go old school and use cash. Ugh. Anyways, let's get started. So I want to note that your level of Chinese must be at an intermediate or an expert level if you're not bringing a Chinese spouse or friend to help you throughout this process. So if you only speak English and you don't have any Chinese or translator help, you may run into a lot of problems because a lot of questions get asked. At least in mainland China, the government deemed it not possible for you to open a bank account remotely, so you must go to the bank in person to do this. And they take a lot of steps to prevent money laundering, especially like not only with foreigners, but with Chinese. So there are a lot of processes in place so that they can avoid money laundering incidents as much as possible. So I'm gonna be breaking this down into two groups. Those who wanna open a bank account that have a business or a work visa / work permit, and those that want to open a bank account that have a tourist or a spousal visa. There are different processes and it's usually easier to get it if you have a work visa here. I also want to grossly simplify the difference between a public and a private bank. A public bank is usually more associated with the government, has more ties with the government, so they kind of have more processes and red tape, if you want to call it, to open up a bank account. And a private bank, maybe a little bit more lenient, but money talks. So the larger your deposit, the more likely you can open a bank account in a private bank account. Don't worry though, I'll put some example banks down below in the description of private and public banks in case you want to decide which one you want to choose when you open your bank account. Just to give you some examples right now, you can consider banks like HSBC and Standard Chartered Bank to be private banks and public banks to be ICBC, China Construction Bank, or Bank of China. Now fortunately, I've been able to open 3 bank accounts so far in China and 1 in Hong Kong. I'll go into opening a bank account in Hong Kong in another video, so this is just for mainland China. So for those that have a work visa or business visa, you must prepare the following before even considering going to the bank branch. You need to have your temporary residence permit, which is a permit that's given you by the police when you first land in China. It's basically just a small form that says you live in this location and this is your phone number in the event you need to get contacted by the local authorities. Also, you need to bring a phone, a Chinese phone with a Chinese phone number because there's one-time passwords they issue and they actually give you updates of your bank account on your phone if you wish to do so. You will need to bring, if you're an employee, your work contract from your employer. So whatever contract you have, like how long your contract's for, the salary they're willing to pay you, all that, you need to bring the original copy into the bank branch. You need to bring a work permit if you have that. You obviously need to bring your passport with your work visa. If you have a business visa and you have a company that is sponsoring you, you need to bring all the paperwork supporting that the company is sponsoring you legally and is recognized by the government. If you're your own company, not being sponsored by a company, but instead you're like a startup company, you also need to bring all the startup paperwork you had to prove to them that you're a legitimate company. Now, after you have all these documents together, get ready for the interrogation. So when you go into the bank, they're gonna ask you a lot of questions like, why do you want a bank account? What are you doing in China? Like, what's your monthly income? What do you plan to do with this bank account? And they're just asking these questions to protect themselves, to prevent money laundering cases that they may have had in the past. So just bear with it. This is why I said you must have an intermediate level of Chinese to be able to respond to these questions, because don't expect the bank branch managers to speak any English. Some do, especially the private ones that have an international presence, but not everyone. And like I said before, money talks, so the larger your deposit, the more likely they will open a bank account for you. Now, after you've gone through the questions and you provided them all the paperwork, they've successfully opened your bank account, then they're gonna issue a bank card, which is typically done instantaneously. It's actually really convenient and popular in China for these kind of services to be done like that. Something I didn't know of before in the US, but they use a lot in Asia Pacific, is a token. They'll also issue a token, and this is like another form of authentication. So for example, if you want to transfer maybe 20,000 RMB to another bank account in China, maybe even outside of China, you'll probably either need to plug this baby into a computer or your cell phone, or it'll be linked wirelessly where there'll be like a code on the screen, and then you'll put it into the internet banking application to verify that you are actually the person trying to send a large amount of money. Another thing to do after you get issued your token and your bank card is do not leave the bank until you have successfully downloaded the application on your phone, set up your phone banking and your internet banking. It also helps to have the tellers walk you through how to do simple transactions like send money to somebody, make a payment, withdraw money, change money from US dollar to RMB. I had them walk them through the processes for me so that I don't have to go to the bank branch for some simple transactions, so that helped out. Also, something cool to know is that in China there are a lot of machines that can actually accept cash. So if you get paid in cash in China, you can just look at one of these machines, deposit your cash, and it'll go directly into your bank account instantaneously. Pretty convenient. So now that you know how to get a bank account with a work or business visa, now I'm gonna go into having a bank account with a tourist or a spousal visa. Now you can go to either a private bank or a public bank for this. They work for both, but I can't guarantee 100% this will work for you at any bank branch. You know, you just gotta take the risk. Before you go to the branch, it helps to have the following ready: your passport with your proper visa, your temporary residence permit, your Chinese phone with a Chinese phone number, and your sponsoring person who is Chinese. Now, if you're married to a Chinese person, they can just bring their hukou, which is like a red little document proving they're a Chinese citizen living in this area and assigned to this city. If it's your friend, like a roommate you're living with in China, maybe they can vouch for you and they can walk you through the process. Now, like I said before, this may not work 100%, but it definitely helps having a Chinese person sponsor you to open a bank account as a tourist or on a spousal visa. After you go through the plethora of questions that I mentioned before, like what do you plan on doing in China, what do you plan on doing with this bank account, and you've passed that step, then they'll go ahead and issue your card, issue your token, and make sure, like last time, you download the right app and they walk you through how to do internet banking and phone banking, because it makes your life a lot easier than having to leave the branch and then come back to the branch and set it up, okay? So let me know how your process was when you opened your first bank account in China. And if you have any questions about the process that I didn't answer in the video, you can write them down in the comments down below. I'm curious to know about your situation. I'm willing to help out. It makes life so convenient when you have a bank account in China to use WeChat and Alipay. Like I'm telling you, everyone here uses WeChat and Alipay. So if you found value from this video, please smash that like button. And if you want to see more content about having a better lifestyle here as a foreigner, please consider subscribing down below. Anyways, I'll see you